Ever wonder how Columbus's voyages reshaped the course of history? It all began with a man named Christopher Columbus, born in Genoa around the year 1451. From a young age, Columbus was intrigued by the world beyond what he knew. His curiosity led him to dream of exploration, of discovering new routes and lands. He nurtured this dream, and as he grew older, his ambition only intensified. He proposed a daring plan, a westward route to Asia. But dreams and plans need backing, and Columbus found his in the Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella. After years of negotiation and preparation, Columbus finally saw his dream take shape. In 1492, he set sail with 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, into the vast unknown Atlantic Ocean. He believed he was headed for Asia, but destiny had other plans. So, Columbus set sail, not knowing he was about to change the world. 1492, a year that marked the beginning of a new era. Christopher Columbus, a Genoan mariner, led an expedition westward under the auspices of the Spanish crown. His objective? To find a direct sea route to Asia. It was a bold proposal, one that bypassed the traditional overland routes monopolized by the formidable Ottoman Empire. In August, Columbus set sail from Palos de la Frontera, Spain, with 3 ships under his command, the Santa Maria, the Nina, and the Pinta. The voyage was arduous, fraught with uncertainty and danger. Yet Columbus and his crew persevered, driven by a shared vision of discovery and the promise of untold riches. On October 12th, after more than 2 months at sea, the expedition sighted land. It was an island in the Bahamas, a place Columbus named San Salvador. But to Columbus, it was more than just an island. It was a new world, a land of promise, a gateway to the riches of the East. He believed he had reached Asia, the endpoint of his dreams. Columbus's encounters with the indigenous people of the Caribbean were marked by a mix of curiosity and confusion. He was intrigued by their customs, their languages, their way of life. Yet he also saw them as subjects for the Spanish crown, resources to be exploited for the benefit of his patrons. In the months that followed, Columbus explored other islands in the Caribbean, each discovery reinforcing his belief that he had reached Asia. He returned to Spain a hero, bearing tales of a new world rich with gold and spices. Though he believed he had reached Asia, Columbus's discovery was about to change the world's map. His voyage marked the beginning of sustained European contact with the Americas, a new chapter in the history of our world. It was a discovery that would reshape our understanding of the globe, sparking a wave of exploration that would span centuries. A new world had indeed been discovered, and it was far more significant than Columbus could ever have imagined. Riding the wave of his first voyage's success, Columbus embarked on a second expedition. This time, his ambitions were not limited to exploration alone. With a larger fleet of 17 ships, he set out in September 1493, aiming to establish a Spanish colony and search for valuable resources. The objective was to capitalize on the newly discovered lands and exploit their potential wealth. Columbus had convinced the Spanish monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella, that these new territories were teeming with gold and other riches. As a result, the second expedition had more than just exploration in its mandate. It was about colonization, about marking Spanish territory in the New World, and about extracting wealth. The second voyage led Columbus to various Caribbean islands, including Hispaniola, which is present-day Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Here, he established La Navidad, the first permanent Spanish settlement in the Americas. This marked the beginning of Spanish colonization, a process that would reshape the Americas over the ensuing centuries. But colonization was not an easy task. Columbus faced numerous challenges, including conflicts with indigenous populations. The local people resisted the foreign invaders, leading to violent confrontations. Columbus's methods of dealing with these conflicts have been the subject of much criticism. Accusations of brutality and exploitation have marred his legacy. Additionally, Columbus had to deal with internal disputes among his crew. managing a large group of men, far from home and in a strange land, was no easy task. Discontent and rebellion threatened the unity of the expedition, further complicating Columbus's mission. Despite these controversies, Columbus's second voyage further solidified Spain's foothold in the New World. It marked the beginning of a new era, an era of European colonization and exploitation. The consequences of this voyage extended far beyond Columbus's lifetime, shaping the history of the Americas in profound and lasting ways. Despite the controversies, Columbus's second voyage further solidified Spain's foothold in the New World. Columbus's thirst for exploration and riches led him to his third voyage. With an unquenchable desire to discover new lands, Columbus embarked on another seafaring adventure in May of 1498. This time, his sights were set on finding a westward passage to Asia, a route he believed would lead him to untold wealth. Fueled by ambition, Columbus and his crew sailed along the coast of South America, battling the elements and their own doubts. Their journey was fraught with hardships, including fierce storms and shipwrecks that tested their resolve. But despite these challenges, they pressed on, driven by the promise of discovery and riches. Their explorations led them to the mouth of the Orinoco River. Columbus, ever the dreamer, mistook it for a passage to the Indian Ocean. He believed he was on the brink of a monumental discovery, one that would secure his place in history and fill his coffers with gold. However, reality soon set in. Strained relations with Spanish authorities and the absence of the promised wealth began to tarnish Columbus's reputation. His grand dreams of a westward passage to Asia and untold riches started to crumble. The elusive wealth he sought remained just out of reach, a mirage that faded with each passing day. But the riches Columbus sought remained elusive, and his reputation began to tarnish. His quest for wealth had turned into a journey of disappointment, marking the beginning of the end of Columbus's era of exploration. As support dwindled, Columbus embarked on his final voyages. The last of Columbus's voyages were marked by diminishing backing from Spanish authorities and dwindling personal fortunes. Despite these challenges, he continued his explorations of the Caribbean and Central America, driven by his unwavering belief in the promise of the New World. Yet Columbus's later expeditions were overshadowed by controversy. His treatment of indigenous peoples, often marked by violence and exploitation, has become a point of criticism and scrutiny. His promises of wealth and glory too fell short, as the riches he had hoped to find remained elusive. His reputation, once held high in the courts of Spain, began to tarnish. However, the legacy of Columbus extends beyond these controversies. His voyages initiated European colonization of the Americas, forever changing the course of world history. They marked the start of a new era, one of discovery, exchange, and unfortunately, exploitation. His name, for better or worse, has become synonymous with the age of exploration. Today, the legacy of Columbus remains a topic of intense debate. Some celebrate his role as a brave explorer who opened the Americas to European exploration. Others condemn his actions, highlighting their devastating impact on indigenous populations. Yet, irrespective of one's stance on Columbus, the man, the influence of his voyages on the world is undeniable. While Columbus's legacy remains a topic of debate, the impact of his voyages on world history is undeniable.